Hey, Chandler Bolt here, and in this video I want to talk to you about a core principle called control the controllables. Now really this is a foundational thing that we use as in leadership inside self-publishing school, and I think you're going to find this really helpful for breaking down goals for yourself or for your company. Now I first learned about this concept. It was actually listened to an interview with Ben Boulware, who used to be a linebacker for the Clemson Tigers. Now if you know me well, you know that I love the Clemson Tigers. I love Clemson football. It's near where I'm from. And I found out a funny thing about leadership is that when you start learning about and obsessing over leadership, you see it everywhere. It's kind of like, picking up a new car, right? If you buy a Jeep, then you see Jeeps everywhere. So I actually watched way too many interviews with coaches and stuff for Clemson. And this is one of the nuggets that I pulled out of that, control the controllables. So he was talking about, how they were progressing as a team and things like that. And he said, we just control our controllables. And I thought about that and I said, hey, how can I apply that to my business? And so this is kind of really a meshing of a few concepts. Control the controllables, what it means is taking your big goals, your big ideas, your big visions, dreams, whatever that might be, and drilling it down into what you can control. Now, a similar concept that you may have heard of is leading and lagging indicators. Now, one of the best books that I've read on this is called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. I think it's by Sean Covey, so Stephen Covey's son. Stephen Covey, who wrote 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, his son wrote a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. Is really, really good. And basically what he talks about is that most people, especially entrepreneurs, spend too much time focusing on the results. Right? So if I'm running a sales team, I'm focused on the revenue. If I'm really trying to measure anyone in my organization, most people, they focus too much on the results and not the controllables, if you will, or the leading indicators, whatever you want to call it, the activities that lead to those results. So it's not that results goals aren't important, but it's important that you break it down all the way to the biggest controllable. Now, let me give you kind of a story, and then I'll give you some fundamental principles of how you can use this for yourself to set goals or in your business to manage your people or set goals in your business. So I remember way back when, I used to work for a company called Student Painters. So Student Painters, it's an internship. They teach you how to run a business by running a house painting business, right? So I run this house painting business over 7 months. And I remember I sat down with my manager and I said, all right, I have a goal to be number 1 in the country, number 1 in the company, and I want to do $100,000, right? And he said, okay, that's great. Let's break that down. Right? So he said, okay, our average job size is $1,500. So let's do 100,000 divided by 15. That's how many jobs that you're going to have to sell. Now, we know that on average, you're going to sell about 40% of your estimates. So if you sit down and do an estimate with a homeowner, you're going to sell that about 40% of the time. So, okay, let's divide that by 0.4, so 40%. So that's how many estimates that you're going to have to do. We know to get X number of estimates, you're going to have to knock on 100 doors, right, for one estimate, or you might have to pass out 1,000 flyers for one estimate, right? Okay, so we're going to have to do X many flyers, and then we know that I missed a step. We know that X amount of estimates cancel or no show. Maybe we have a 70 or 80% of people who actually go through. So you're going to have to book more estimates than you complete. And then you're going to have to, and we went all the way down into this weekend, you need to drop 1,500 flyers and knock on 500 doors. Right, for simple math. And if you do that every single week, here's how many jobs that you should expect to sell just based on the math. Right? Now, this is cool because it's kind of a franchise model, so they have proven numbers. Maybe you don't have proven numbers for your job or for your business, but you could at least take a guess. And I find that way too many people, they set goals and they don't break down like what's it going to take to get there. So in everything that we do inside Self-Publishing School as a team, so we set aggressive and ambitious goals, but we always say, cool, what's the controllables? What are the things that we have to do to make that happen? How can we break it up into our 20-mile march, which I've got another video you can see as part of my core principles on the 20-mile march. So that's a different concept. But how can we break it down into the controllables and then daily hit those controllables to achieve the end objective? That way it's not a pie in the sky objective, but also that way we don't have knee-jerk reactions, because it's so easy when you're in the heat of battle, right? Or when you're, when the rubber meets the road and you're trying to actually achieve those things, you just have knee-jerk reactions based on what happened today. But I'll stick with the sales context because that's kind of the easiest to just illustrate here. But let's say, for example, we have a bad sales day. We don't hit our goal. Maybe it's $18,000 in sales for the day, right? Well, if I look and I say, what are our controllables? Did we complete 6 appointments per rep? Did we close at a 27.5% close rate? Did we make X number of calls? If all those things are yes, we have what I call a green day. So green days are often measured on leading indicators, not lagging indicators. But because I trust if we did the math right, and if we're controlling the controllables, so we're controlling our input, then the results will come. Sure, we might have a bad day, we might have a good day, but that is irrelevant of us controlling the controllables in the sense that, like, well, it's not totally irrelevant. I think you get what I mean, but it's those that will ebb and flow. And so what I want my people to ask themselves, and really what I want you to ask yourself when you implement this principle is, am I controlling the controllables daily? And really this kind of relates to controlling the inputs, not being tied to the outputs. And then also I was talking to someone the other day about the process and being bought into the process, not the results. He was talking to me about, hey, you're so successful as an entrepreneur. It's really cool. I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't think I want to be a physical therapist. And I said, okay, that maybe that's the case, but will you love the process? Because it's easy to see my results now. And I kind of gave him my 5-year, 6-year, whatever backstory of, like, dropped out of school, missed out on a ton of opportunities in college. I was broke, multiple 6 figures in debt. Like, everyone thought I was an idiot until they didn't anymore, right? And so all those things. And so if you don't love the process, then you're not going to stick through and you're not going to enjoy it. And so honestly, who cares if you get the results if you don't enjoy the process? So a little bit of a tangent off of the fact of controlling the controllables. And if you're interested in using this principle for yourself, what I would encourage you to do is take your big goals and then say, what are the controllables? How can I break this down into things that I can actually control, right? Because by nature, controllables are things that you can control. And then you control those things daily. And if you do, then you're going to get the end results. Okay, so I hope that you found this video helpful. I'd love for you to comment below. Let me know what you think. Have you used it, something like this? What do you think of this concept? And especially if you use it and see results, come back, comment, and let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.